All right, guys, happy start to the new week. We are 1 week away from convention. Sorry, my alarm's going off. We're 1 week away from convention. If you are headed to Dallas, drop a one in the chat. So excited. It's hard to believe that it's almost here. Listen, I know it's a Sunday night. I know you probably have a million other things that you could be doing, but like, let's be honest, we make time for the things that are important to us, right? And by being on here tonight, this is important to you. And that's why you're going to grow your business because you committed to this. So thank you for being on. And I'm really excited. I want to welcome Lori Jones. I don't know how many of you know her to our Zoom tonight. Lori has been with Plexus 11 years this month. So she has definitely seen the ebbs and flows of the business, the ups and downs, the good, the bad, all of it. So she is definitely going to let us know what it's like to be burnout and how to come back from that. So I met Lori in Punta Cana. I sat down beside her because I loved her neon bathing suit. I wanted to know where she got it. But we just, struck up a conversation and we've been friends ever since. But I just want to mention, like, isn't that just like the beauty and the culture of Plexus is that like we didn't know each other. We're not on the same team. But since then, we message each other, we motivate each other, we've shared posts, we've shared ideas. So I just love that this is the culture of Plexus. So we're lucky that we're here. So without taking up more time, I want to thank you, Lori, for being on tonight and thank all of you for being on too. You will not regret it. So you can take it away, sister.
Well, thank you, first of all, for even asking to have me on tonight. It's an honor just to share some of my story. I kind of jotted down just some like bullet points to touch on, but I may, at the end, if there's anything you're like, but what about this? Don't hesitate to ask me questions, because obviously over the course of 11 years, you can't tell the whole story and all the times that you've come back from burnout, you know what I mean? So we'll kind of go big picture here. But like you mentioned, this month is 11 years that I've been with Plexus. But I want to kind of give y'all a background of what got me here. So about 12 years ago, I actually started looking into network marketing because I had friends, women who were doing it and they were having success financially. And I was like, I trust you. I know you. You're like a real person I went to school with or I'm a friend with. And so I got curious, like, what are they doing? How are they making money? So it was about 12 years ago that I really just started kind of investigating and I started asking multiple people questions. How do I earn, if I join your company, how do I earn $500 a month? If I join your company, how do I earn $500 a month? That's what I wanted to know. My husband and I were in, like, money was tight and we were barely making it. And it was like, I just needed to find a way to make some extra income. And so there was a company that I was asking a friend about, and to join, it was going to be like, well, for the small package, you can get started with $500, or for the large package, you can get started with $1,000. And I was like, sister, I'm trying to make $500. I can't start you with $500, And so then my friend that was with Plexus, she was like, oh, girl, we'll get you started for $35 and whichever package you want. And it was $35 back then to get started. And so I just asked her a whole bunch of questions and I wanted to know, like, what do I do? Tell me what to do and I'll do it. So my story is different in the sense that I did join for the business. I joined for the income and I believed her. I trusted the products were working for her. I saw what she was using and how it was helping her, helping her family. And I trusted her. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, let's go for this. I'm going to jump in with you and I'm going to start sharing. And then I'm just going to believe that these products might help me lose a little bit of weight, right? That was the thought. And, then I get going and I quickly learn about gut health. And I'm like, oh, whoa, this is a whole lot more than I knew or expected and way cooler than I thought. And it just kind of shifted into so much more than I ever intended it to even be. I started sharing immediately. And I also started watching diamond documentaries very, very quickly from the time that I started. My friend that I signed up with, I mean, they were sending me, she was sending me all sorts of diamond docs. The team pages I was in, they were flooding them with diamond docs. And that is when like it shifted in my brain, like, Lori, you could do so much more than $500 a month. I was like, I mean, I had no idea that I was going to jump in and all of a sudden be like, I want the car, I want the trips, I want all the things. I didn't have, that was not at all where my head was at when I got started. But seeing normal women that I was like, I could do that. If she can do it, I can do it. If that's her story, that's my story too. I was seeing these people that I was like, well, these are just real life people. And my desire in the business changed and my vision got a lot bigger. And so like I said, I started sharing immediately. I went silver pretty quickly. But hear me say this, y'all, my time in ranking has been slow. It has been slow. It took me 4 years to go gold. Okay. And that was basically working the business by myself. Did I have 20 customers between like over the course of those 4 years? I sure did. But were they ordering all at the same time? No. And so it took me a while to have my team of gold. Um, and like I said, really that was by myself. I didn't really have anybody working with me. About 2 years later during COVID, that is when, life was crazy. We were all like going nutso in realizing like, okay, we all need this. We're all working from home. People need money. People are losing money. People need extra income streams. And that's actually when I ended up going senior gold, and having a team, having people working with me was kind of during COVID when we were all home. Um, that was when things started getting really fun. When I had people working with me, it didn't feel like I'm clawing, just trying to make it through because I was doing it all by myself. It was more fun doing it with my team, obviously. I was excited when I was getting to help people rank up and make money and, do things that were helping their family. And my sponsor that I worked with, the one who I signed up with, we lived in the same town. And so it was really fun just to like, we would do sip and sees together. We would have get togethers at our houses. And, we had this culture of doing it together. Shortly after kind of COVID and getting to senior gold, my sponsor left Plexus. So after I had been with Plexus for, at that point, about 6 years, she left Plexus. And that was really tough because I was close friends with her even before Plexus. And so it felt very isolated because that was who I did everything with. There's not an excuse. You don't have to have your sponsor doing the business with you in order to have your own success, but it just shifted the dynamic of what I was doing, who I was doing it with, how things were going. I didn't have that person like cheering me on and encouraging my team, to whatever it was. But she was there really just she supported me so well through the whole time. And so when she left, it just changed things. And so there was just a time where I really had to figure out, okay, how do I do this kind of solo? How do I do this without having my sponsor? And luckily, I did have people that were above me, multiple layers above, that were still supportive of me. But it was my diamond upline at the time was probably 10 levels above me. And she was supporting me so well. And then now as time has gone on, I think I'm like level 3 or level 4 to her. So things change, people step away. But I had built this relationship with my diamond upline, and luckily she has just kind of she's become my person. She's become the person who now supports me, cheers me on, and has given me a great sense of leadership in our team. Even though for a long, long time, I didn't do anything for her financially. My points didn't do anything for her. Any of my growth wasn't necessarily impacting her until more in these last couple of years. And so anyway, all that to say, things shift, in your business, and people leave, some people stay, whether it's above you or below you, beside you, people step away, and really figuring out what's the dynamic going to be, even as people make decisions to go different places. And I had to figure out what that looked like. But I will tell you that because of that dynamic shift, a lot of the people that were building with me, things just kind of people started to step away again. And I wasn't really developing people really well. I wasn't doing a great job as a leader to invest in them and to support them the way that they needed. I had a hard time with people who were not local to me without, like, okay, well, if I can't invite them to my house, how do I build that relationship? Or if I can't like go to coffee with them, how can I help them feel supported? And I really had to just figure out what it looked like to have a team that was kind of all in different places. But I did have people step away. And it was about 2 years later, kind of after my sponsor left, that I was running through trying to rank up again. And I almost hit Ruby. But again, you guys, it was basically on my own. And it was like I said, felt like I was just clawing to get there. And I didn't have like a team supporting me, being like, okay, well, I'm going to get this person to silver, and I'm going to get that person, and I'm going to do this. And I didn't have these people kind of under me that was helping. It was me doing it by myself. And I earned in 2018, I earned Leaders Retreat by myself. In 2023, the Punta Cana trip, I earned Leaders Retreat by myself. I didn't have anybody who was, again, working underneath me. It was exhausting. It's exhausting. It's not the fun way to do it. It is not, um, it's, it just, again, the word isolating, you just feel alone in your business when you're trying to do it by yourself. And here's what I want to tell you that I say quickly here, I'm talking about like 6 to 8 years in my business. That's not quickly, but here's what I realized after hitting these incentives or earning these trips was, Laura, your focus is incentive based, it's prize based, it's focused on your success, it's focused on your income. I was so focused on, okay, well, I have to earn this trip. I have to earn that month's prize. I have to constantly be acknowledged for being on the leaderboard that week or whatever it is. Like, I need people to be aware that I'm succeeding, even if I wasn't helping other people succeed. And that was like when I kind of came to the realization that that was where I was at mentally. I was like, Lori, you've got to pull back until you can. Yes, I need to focus on my growth, but until you can take the focus off of your own success and really help others succeed, your business isn't going to grow. You're not going to do what you need to do in this business. And so I was very transparent with my team, with my audience about where I was at. And I basically said, I've been too self-focused and I need to take some time to really figure out how I can help others win. And so I did. I stepped back for a little bit. And I just spent some time trying to figure out, okay, what's going on with me? Why am I not leading people well? Is it insecurities? Is it feeling like I'm not a great leader? Is it feeling like I don't have what it takes to develop people to more than silver or gold? Is it feeling like I'm not worthy of being a jewel? What were the things that were really going through my heart and my mind that were causing me to just almost self-sabotage and not allow myself to really invest in people the way that I know that I can? I have such deep group friendships and relationships in normal life. Why can't that translate into my business, right? And so I spent some time, just like I said, kind of pulling back and figuring out how to do that. I spent a lot of time watching calls, trainings from people that were really having great success building teams, whether that was Trisha Rager, Emily Roberts, Jill Renfro. I mean, whoever it was, watching people who were building teams. And I'm talking, I just watched these trainings like on repeat. If it was something that I felt like, okay, this is resonating with me, I would watch that over and over while I'd get ready in the morning for work. Things that I needed to hear, things that I needed to be reminded of, bold business women who were just like not just going for it, but weren't afraid to say like, I'm sharing the business because I know it can change people's lives. I know it can change people's lives. And I had to really shift into not being afraid to just invite people deeper into the business because I know that it could help them. I know that it could impact their families. And um, so like I said, I was watching people who were kind of no nonsense, who just don't give into the excuses in their business and really don't let their teams give into excuses because I kind of needed to hear what to do and what not to do, if that makes sense. And so I really thought I kind of had to start over. That's just kind of what had to happen. I had to start over in my business. I had to start over with my team. But also, when you've been in the business as long as I have, you have to almost erase things that you've learned 8, 10 years ago and realize things are different now. How do I build my business now? What does it look like now? Whether that's, how do I share on social media differently than I did 10 years ago? How do I lead my team? Where am I leading my team? Am I leading my team on Facebook? Am I leading my team on Instagram? Am I leading, you know what I'm saying? There's so many different aspects to how things shift and change when you've been in the business this long, and really having to like pull back and take into consideration all the different things that I might need to do differently because times have changed and the business has changed. So I've basically started over. Um, Here's what I'll tell you. Burnout is real. We all know that. It is real, it is real, it is real, but this business is worth it. And I have stuck around and I have stayed where I'm at for 11 years because I 100% believe that it is possible to succeed in this business. I also have had to shift my mindset and to realize I'm already succeeding. If I am making income for my family every single month, I am already succeeding. And I had to not just have this mentality, well, if I'm not a Joel, or if I'm not this rank, or if I'm not making this amount, then it's not success. That's not true. And so wherever you're at in your business, if you are working, if you are making an income, if you are covering the cost of your products, if you're helping somebody else earn income, whatever you're doing, maybe reframe that focus of success, because sometimes we become burnout because we're believing a lie about what success really is. And I just want to encourage you to stay stay in the course, stay where you're at, in the sense that work hard to we got to work what's going on here in our minds and our belief systems and our mindset. There's so much work that has to be done internally, but we have to believe that this business is good. We have to believe that this company is legit and they have provided us such incredible resources and tools and opportunities that we just have to put in the work. We got to just keep putting in the work. Um, but I think really laying the kind of getting real with yourself and figuring out what is success to me. If it is being a Jewel, that's great. If that's what success looks like for you, that's great. But allow yourself to see success along the way. And if being a Jewel is the goal, and if that's what success to you, you also have to allow yourself to number one, you're going to fail, but you have to allow yourself to realize you have to work really, really hard. It's not a hobby if you're wanting to be a Jewel, and so we have to be real with ourselves about what it is that we're willing to put in to get the success that we're actually wanting, right? So sometimes burnout happens because of the expectations we've put on ourselves, on our business, the mindset we have about it, and we have to reframe those things. So anyway, I know that anybody can do this business if we put in the work, if we have the right mindset. I know that I can do it. I know that I can get where I want to be. But it's not about me. It's got to be about who I'm investing time in, and being able to serve others. And it's obviously so much more fun that way when we're helping others succeed, and when we're taking the focus off of ourselves. So that's really all I've got. I would love to answer questions, or if there's anything you want me to expand on or share more of my story about, I'm happy to do that.
Oh my gosh. Like when you say I listen to her on repeat, like this is going to be on repeat. And that's kind of like my story too. Like I was so like the first month, Bree's like, you on senior silver. I'm like, fabulous. I don't even know what that means. Um, but it is like you get that shift. Like it's not about the prizes, it's not about the trip.
Yeah.
But there were so many moments that just like brought tears to my eyes and gave me chills when you were talking because it's just the shift and and
Mhm.
the mindset and what we tell ourselves and what we believe about ourselves. So that was so, so good. Um, and I want everybody to just drop their takeaway, their biggest takeaway in the chat. But also, I want you to talk about your journal too. So after you came back from like your last burnout, you published, is it like a gratitude journal?
Yeah, it's kind of like a motivational, like
I love it. I ordered.
mindset.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, part of obviously I didn't share my health journey, but part of my health journey was I lost 40 pounds, but it came with like a major mindset shift. And so you guys, the same is true if your products aren't working for you, you might need to check your headspace because it's not the products. We know that.
Yeah.
But I say that because in my weight loss journey, I there was so much that I had to shift mentally and realize like, Lori, your habits have to change, your beliefs about this have to change, your attitude about this has to change. Are you taking action every single day? Are you making small choices every single day? Are you giving things enough time? Because all of these things are true not just for our products, but for our business. And so what happened was really my journey of kind of weight loss and through business kind of just manifested itself into a journal. And so it's something that it's, kind of like if you've done like a daily devotional that has a message and then a space to like write your thoughts and process. It's kind of similar. It's just a 30-day it's called Daily Spark. And I like to say that it's like a motivational journal where you are able to take um, each day and kind of have a message, whether it's about your actions, your goals, your mindset. But each day there's a challenge or there's a task or there's some self-reflection, so that really your actions begin to align with your goals. And I think the biggest thing with it is it is health focused, but I also have some business things in there because the reality is the principle remains the same across any habit, any goal, anything we're trying to achieve, whether it's health or business or relationships with friends or whatever the case may be. So yes, it's definitely been it was a labor of love because it just kind of was an overflow of everything that I learned in the process.
Yeah. It must have been so liberating though to just get that out on paper and be able
Yeah.
to share it. Because it's hard to like really look at yourself and realize like, okay, I do need to reevaluate what I'm doing, how I'm helping people. Because it's easy just to like blame somebody else or blame the business. But um, it takes a lot to really like self-reflect and then to get that out on paper. But I did drop the link for that in our team page, but I will also
Thank
drop
you.
it in our chat. I think somebody else on our team already ordered it. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah, so it is worth it. I'm not the whole way through it, obviously, because I just got it, but yeah, love it. So
Thank
I see what time it is. Do you have time for a couple questions if anybody has any questions? Okay.
Sure.
Does anybody have anything? I actually have a question. Um, so I know that like when my mind shifted and I realized like I can't do this alone and I want to have a team, but how did you deal with like the overwhelm of like I know sometimes like as I'm starting my team, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even tell them about this, this, and this because my brain was so overwhelmed. So what was like your
Mhm.
process of dealing with that? Like did you have a system for it or
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think, yes, feeling that overwhelm of like, how do I get all of the information to people without, what if they don't want the information? Am I giving them too much? Am I giving them too little? Do they care about this? Like, I had all of the thoughts, which sometimes that puts you in like paralysis because then you don't share things
Hmm.
that need to be shared or whatever. Um, I will say, um, recently I've kind of shifted into a small chat. We have team pages and we've got which are great. And we've got like our customer page, and we share lots of great info on those. But because it's actually like our broader team, so like my Diamond Upline and some of her people, I felt like I was losing some of that connection with my direct team and customers. And so I've started more of a small chat with either those who are directly working or who order every single month and have for a long time and have shown interest in sharing.
Hmm.
Um, and so now it's more in a small chat and I'm trying to keep it not overloaded with information,
Hmm.
but information that I feel like, okay, you need to know this, whether it's like, okay, hey, you need to know about this promo, or hey, you need to know about this challenge that we've got coming up. But I'm also trying to make it um like that connection. How do I help them get to know each other within it? So,
Hmm.
creating just conversational opportunities that they can kind of get to know each other, fun little chat
I love that.
conversations. So that's kind of what I've shifted to recently. Mainly just because we kind of needed a new space to connect. So
Hmm. I
yeah,
love
in
that.
in
Thank
a
you.
smaller way. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Well, it's almost 9:30 and I know that it's Sunday night. But I honestly could listen to you for like another 2 hours. But this was so good. Like you should share it with everybody on your team and have them share it. I am going to listen to this on repeat. So thank you so much for taking the time out to do this. I've always felt super connected to you since Punta Cana. And you were like the first person I thought of. I was like, oh, I gotta see if she can get on for us. So thank you so much.
Of course. No, thank you again for asking. Happy to do it. So I hope that there's a nugget that even if it's one small thing that somebody takes away, I hope that it's helpful. So,
For sure. Thank you. All
yeah.
right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.